Welcome to Yacht Talk. We are in the beautiful city of Bath to meet with Pascale Reymond. She is the co-founder of Reymond Langton Design. And today we're going to find out more about Project Aura.
Charlotte.
Hello Pascale.
Oh, nice seeing you.
Lovely to see you too. Some of the Heesen tulips for you, grown for the shipyard.
Thank you.
And some waffles.
Oh, it's perfect, thank you. Please come in.
Well, Pascale, it's lovely to meet you.
Really, it's a pleasure to meet you also, and in the beautiful city of Bath. Really.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
wonderful. So what about Reymond Langton, the studios? How did it all start?
The studio started in 2001. I started with Andrew Langton, my business partner, which is now my husband, for only a year now. and we decided to do our own business after working for another yacht design studio for about 12 years, Donald Starkey. And it's where I met Andrew, and it's where I met Jason, who was also director of the company. And we were very good friends while we were working together, and we decided that we should do it all together. And it was quite tough the first year. You know, it's not an easy thing to work for yourself. You can see that when you work in a studio with somebody, you think that it will be easy and you could do better. But at the end, you know what? When you start and you have to get your first contract, it's really difficult, really. So because people who know you might not give you a job straight away. You have to prove yourself over again. So that was a challenge, but we got there.
So when and how did your collaboration with Heesen start?
It started a few years ago. I think we did two projects with them, Angie, which turned out being very successful, and Neptune, which is Project Galvas. And parallel to this, they wanted us to do some of their prospective projects, which, to be honest, we don't do many of these. It was one of the few projects we've done without a client. And so, because usually the boats we are doing are very bespoke, very tailored to the individual. But they asked us if we would be interested, and of course they gave us a budget, and we thought, okay, we do it. And it's really interesting because I think you try again to do different things. And I think to be able to design a yacht bespoke for one individual is very exciting, but also it's interesting to work on a budget and do something beautiful, but without a client, because suddenly you have to rewrite your brief, which makes you think a bit more about how a yacht should function. So yes, so we enjoyed it.
So let's discuss Project Aura in greater detail. Tell me about the concept and what makes it really special.
Because there was no client at the beginning of the design, we had to create a brief. I mean, the shipyard gave us a carte blanche to do whatever we wanted, provided it was going to be elegant and marketable. So we made our own brief, and it's what was interesting, because it's very rare when you can decide, okay, I'm going to design my wish boat, you see. You know, it doesn't happen all the time, you know, because usually we actually follow a brief and try to understand the requirement of the client. So for Aura, we thought, okay, so we don't threaten, which was modern, contemporary, but very asymmetrical lines. I thought, what should we do? Maybe still do something very contemporary, but very relaxing, very soft, very Scandinavian, which I've never done before, and I really like this. It's about the materials, the softness of materials, the colors, and the natural, earthy feel without being ethnic. That was fine balance to make it relaxing, but detailed enough. Not minimalist, because I really think that minimalist wouldn't appeal to a lot of people. So we do need to infuse some quality of detailing in a very simple, calm design, which is what we've done.
So can you share some of the highlights in terms of the features of the yacht, you know, in interior design? Some rooms or fabrics?
Well, I think the yacht in general, the wood is very elegant. It's a figured Tanganyika, which has a very nice pattern to it, but not over busy, in a very soft taupey colors. So when you look at the wood, it really a very nice background for any piece of furniture or artwork, and it has its own life, but without being too rich. And next to this wood, we have walnut, natural walnut, which is a very nice blonde color, And they also complement themselves very well with some beautiful stitching detail in magellite and leather, but mainly magellite. And so it's a very soft balance. It's a bit like it reminds me a bit of a luxury handbag, you know, a simple but luxury handbag. And I really, you know, with beautiful stitching details and beautiful materials. And I think it's a good background also to put flash of colors, which I do like, because I like colors actually. Not necessarily in the interior, like the furniture or the walls, but I do like colors, bring artwork with colorful features and cushions. I wouldn't do a black and white, and I would say this is black and white here, but, but for interiors, I like to add a bit of color, like a beautiful lipstick on a beautiful woman's face, you see. So it brings some life to it and give a bit of sense of personality.
Pascale, to find out more about the interior design process of Aura, we have recorded an interview with Perry van Heerten of Heesen. So let's take a look.
Hello, Perry. Thanks for joining us.
Hello. Thank you for letting me joining in.
Perry, you have worked closely with the Reymond Langton team for the design of Aura. Can you tell us more about the role you've had and the process generally?
My role is to coordinate the design during the build of the process from the shipyard side. So I work closely with the Reymond Langton Design team to get all the designs, all the drawings, all the materials finalized to make sure that we can hand it over to our engineering and production departments.
And did you encounter a challenge in particular during this process with Aura?
Yeah, there are several challenges. I think one of the main challenges is the materials, although maybe not seen that easy on the renders, there is a very specific structure and quality of the material which is liked and which is requested. So getting the real material, getting the correct material, that's always a challenge, especially nowadays materials are getting more rare and it's difficult to still get the right quality.
And would you say that working on Aura was more challenging than maybe working on a custom boat?
In one way, yes, it's more challenging. Normally during a design phase, you have the feedback from a client. In this respect, we cannot have that feedback, so you have to make a design which, of course, it has to be a beautiful design, but also a design when it comes has to be ready when the boat comes onto the market. So you have to think a few years up ahead to make sure that what is being designed, that it is also liked.
Perry, could you take us through some of the key highlights of Aura's interior? What really stands out?
I think besides the use of the materials, of the delicate materials, one of the areas which I like is the main staircase, the main entrance. It's a very spacious area with an easygoing stair up and down, which whoever walks on the boat will give them a wow effect in entering the boat.
So Perry, where are you in the process of delivering Aura?
At the moment, majority of all the outfitting and interior is already built, ready to being built in and being built in on the boat to be launched end of October. We will have sea trials in early February next year with a completion and a delivery of the boat in April next year.
Okay, well Perry, thank you very much and all the best to you and the team in the shipyard.
Okay, you're welcome.
Do you find that there's going to be a trend in yachting that really started out of the pandemic of maybe spending a bit longer on yachts, and how will that affect design going forward?
Well, it has already happened because all the yachts I have delivered for the last 4 years, all my clients decided to spend their time on a yacht for confinement. Even if the yacht was in a harbor in Miami, they didn't mind. They left their houses and they move on to the yacht, all of them.
Why? Did they say why?
Because it's safer. You know, at the end, it's a safe environment because you control who comes in and out, because obviously all the crew has to quarantine. I mean, it's very strict. It was very difficult to make it work, but they all had to quarantine for 2 weeks before they go on board. Even if they have a change of shift, they have hotels, and so it's very heavily filtered. But it's safer, and it's a place where you can have all your family. So as long as they were on their own, they had their children, grandchildren. It was quite interesting. But to do this, you had to have the right environment. You have the right space and the right facilities.
So does that mean, for instance, bigger guest rooms, a business center, a big office, cinema rooms?
I think business center is important, offices and bigger wardrobes. honestly, because you don't go there. You don't go there for 5 minutes. So it's actually, that's something people are learning. So, and maybe some facilities they had before, they realize they don't need anymore. You know, I think it's going to be a new trend of design, and it has started already. I might have a few boat on the drawing board, and the requirements are different, as you mentioned. The list of wishes are not the same as they were 2 years ago.
Pascale, as an influential woman in the yachting industry, do you see yourself as a role model?
I'm hoping I will become a role model. As I said, I'm really working on it, because nothing is a given. You know, you try your best to do your best. I'm doing my best as a yacht designer, not because I'm a woman, because I want to be a very good designer. That's the most important thing. But at the same time, I do recognize that it's very difficult for women to get into this industry and to be key players. And which is why I'm always there to encourage young women or even older women, to be honest, because I really believe life can start at 50. I have a big theory about this. You can change your life anytime. And famous women became famous when they were past 50. So I really would like to be able to encourage young women to believe in themselves and not to be scared. And just focus mainly on the craftsmanship and the talent, and not worry too much about your gender. If you're good, you filter through. I really believe this. It's what I did. You know, I never worried about my gender. You know, I always thought I want to do what I want to do. I want to become good, and I never worry. I'm a woman as a male industry. I just first focus on the task of doing a good yacht, good design. That's what matters. But saying so, I do have a lot of women in my company. I'm very proud of it. We're a team of 15 designers, and out of 15, it's only 4 men. And
Totally outnumbered.
It's totally outnumbered, and it's a bit of a coincidence. It just turned out that when I was recruiting, the best candidate were actually women at the time when I was recruiting, and it's a very international also office. As they are coming from Poland, Italy, France, you know, and we had Germany a few years ago. So it's a very multi-cultured also, which is very good.
Pascale, the tradition at YachtTalk is to make you answer a question that was sent to you by a previous guest of the show. And in your case, it's Andrew Bond of Fraser.
Oh, thank you.
Here you go.
I'm looking forward to see what he wants me to say.
My question to Pascale would be, if you were to design a yacht for yourself, what size would it be and why? I think that's a great question in terms of how owners end up with the size of yacht that they are building. So I'd like to know what her thoughts are on that.
Thank you. Wow, that's a good question. A yacht. Well, I do have one. It's very small. It's only 5.5 meters. So, but it's all antique inside. So it gives me an idea of what I like. Because it's one thing to design yacht for as individuals, but what do I like? I want to be close to the water. That's the first. And so I will say that it doesn't want to be big. Maybe 35 meters. I think I do fancy a mini Savarona. I do like the 30s and 20s and 30s. I really like the look and the feel, and it's not too big, so you're always close to the water. And the inside, I think, will be very contemporary, with a touch Asian.
Okay, Pascale, so it's your turn to ask the next guest a question, and it's Andrew Winch of Winch Design.
Oh, Andrew, perfect. Okay, let me think. Okay. Bonjour, Andrew. My question is the following. What would be the future trend which would actually influence yacht design the most? That would be great if you give me an answer. Thank you.
Well, Pascale, thank you so much for having us.
It was a pleasure having you, and I really enjoyed this interview. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. So that's it from us at YachtTalk. Thank you for watching. Do stay with us. Next time, we'll be talking to Andrew Winch of Winch Design. In the meantime, keep yachting.